The history of Jin-Gitaxias begins not with fire and conquest, but with a patient hunger, a cold, relentless need to know. Born on the metallic world of Mirrodin, later transformed into the horror known as New Phyrexia, he rose under the light of one of the plane's 5 suns, the one aligned to blue mana. That influence shaped him into something precise, calculating, and ambitious beyond reason. While others fought for dominance through sheer force or divine fervor, Jin-Gitaxias sought control through intellect. He was massive, his chrome body stretching unnaturally tall, his clawed arms and curved spine giving him the silhouette of some monstrous avian predator. Exposed ribs gleamed like ornamented steelwork, and his mouth was a cruel tangle of too many sharp, flat teeth. When he spoke, it was like metal grating over stone, a voice that demanded attention even as it made the listener flinch. From the beginning, his mind was set on one thing, perfection. And in his eyes, perfection was never an endpoint. It was an ongoing process of revision, of tearing down the flawed and replacing it with the improved. This belief birthed his personal doctrine, the Great Synthesis, a philosophy that rewrote Phyrexia's own religious dogma. To Jin-Gitaxias, even the so-called father of machines, the legendary creator of Phyrexia, had been imperfect. Evolution was too slow, too uncertain. What Phyrexia needed was deliberate engineered advancement. He made his home in what had once been Lumen Grid, now transformed into a vast laboratory where steel halls stretched on endlessly, lined with vats. Within those vats floated his newts, embryonic horrors, blank canvases awaiting transformation into weapons, spies, or something worse. His curiosity extended even into the occult, and through alliances of convenience, such as exploiting Shieldred's necromantic visions, he acquired designs for creatures no one else could have conceived. Yet for all his detachment, he was not without rivalries. He despised Vorinclex, regarding him as brutish and unimaginative, and held nothing but contempt for Khan, whom he saw as an incompetent ruler. He even captured the artificer Tezzeret once, dragging him before Khan in an elaborate display of power. And while he maintained a veneer of neutrality with Elesh Norn, the white-aligned Praetor who sought to unify Phyrexia under her vision, both knew their cooperation was temporary. It was Norn who challenged Jin-Gitaxias to solve the unsolvable, to find a way to make a planeswalker into a Phyrexian. Planeswalkers, with their souls and spark, had always been beyond Phyrexia's reach, but Norn knew that if they could be completed without losing that spark, the multiverse would fall with terrifying ease. Jin-Gitaxias accepted, and he chose Kamigawa as his laboratory. That plane's dual-realm nature, the mortal world and the realm of the Kami, fascinated him. He believed the Kami's ability to move freely between realms might hold the key to transforming planeswalkers without stripping away their essence. With Tezzeret as his unwilling accomplice, he established a base deep in Tawashi's Undercity, working alongside shadowy groups like the Hyozan Reckoners and the inventor Tameshi. The experiments were brutal and meticulous. Kami were dissected, studied, reshaped, and then, after long months, he succeeded. The first test subject was Tamiyo, a scholar and planeswalker he captured. Using his new process, he completed her, body and soul, creating the first true Phyrexian planeswalker. But before his work could advance further, Kaito Shizuki, the Wanderer, and Tamiyo's allies discovered his base. In the battle that followed, the Wanderer appeared suddenly, her blade a blur, and cut him cleanly in half. For anyone else, that would have been the end. But Jin-Gitaxias had anticipated such a possibility. Tezzeret recovered the shattered remains of his body, carrying them back to New Phyrexia, where he was rebuilt, stronger and more determined than before. His next projects were no less dangerous. He turned his genius toward perfecting the glistening oil itself, the lifeblood of Phyrexia's corruption. Under his improvements, it became more virulent, able to overwhelm organic material faster and resist the rare healing abilities of opponents like Malira. Time to completion was shortened from days to hours. The infection became a weapon that could be deployed on a battlefield with devastating effect. Tezzeret returned to him again, this time seeking a new dark steel body as promised by Norn. Jin-Gitaxias delivered, but the gift came with chains, quite literally. Tezzeret found himself bound in the same manner Khan had been, unable to escape. Jin-Gitaxias revealed an even darker intention: to corrupt the reality chip and use it to transform the dark steel into blight steel. The plan unraveled when Urabrask's scrap chief intervened. The creature sacrificed itself in a doomed attack, giving Tezzeret the moment he needed to flee. When the new Phyrexian invasion of the multiverse began, Jin-Gitaxias' influence was everywhere. His chrome host legions struck at countless planes, coordinated through his own strategic genius. But as the war dragged on, cracks appeared. In the heart of New Phyrexia's seed core, he stood beside Elesh Norn when she captured the last of the Mirren rebels. When the Archangel Elspeth arrived to turn the tide, Jin-Gitaxias urged caution, to take her alive, to use her. Norn, drunk on her own power, ignored him. In her rage, she tore his arm from its socket. That was the breaking point. He withdrew from her command, retreating to ready his own ultimate weapon, a massive war machine carrying a vat of his perfected newts. These creatures, he believed, would be the next generation of Phyrexia, untainted by Norn's arrogance. But the battle was already shifting. Jalfir, a plane thought lost to time, re-emerged to join the fight, its warriors striking deep into Phyrexia's core. Realmbreaker, the invasion tree, began to fall into rebel hands. In those final chaotic moments, Jin-Gitaxias made his move. He ordered his Gitaxian forces to turn on Norn to end her reign before she destroyed everything. The betrayal caught her off guard, but it also left him exposed. The Jalfirin army counterattacked. His war machine was smashed apart, the vat ruptured. In a final irony, the creatures he had nurtured, his own creations, swarmed over him. They devoured him piece by piece, ending the life of Phyrexia's greatest mind in a frenzy of teeth and claws. Elesh Norn survived the onslaught against her, slaughtering the Gitaxian army, but she was left crippled. Her armor shattered, her legs ruined, she fell before Khan. And with her death and the phasing out of New Phyrexia itself, the Phyrexian threat was at last extinguished. Jin-Gitaxias had always believed that perfection was a matter of control, of shaping the world into a sharper, cleaner design. In the end, his downfall came not from lack of knowledge, but from the simple truth he had ignored. Even the most meticulous plan can be undone by chaos. And in the final tally, it was his own creations, his perfect newts, that erased him from history.